Enough is enough. And honestly, while I personally did really like Trump in office, I will have to say this, and this is just me being a biblical Christian. Because whenever we do look at Trump, one thing I don't like is the fact that he's not truly a born again Christian, or he doesn't show that he is. I mean, there's many instances of this. For example, we could see that he doesn't even know one verse in the Bible. Although that doesn't necessarily make you Christian, he doesn't seem to know the gospel. He says things like, I've never sinned, right? But I think as far as like our current election in America at this moment, if we compare Trump to Biden, for example, or any other political candidates, I'm just going to tell you guys straight up, Trump is definitely the superior option by far. And honestly, the way that Biden has kind of negatively impacted our economy and our way of life in America today, it's kind of very difficult because it put us in a situation where we don't know if we can bounce back up, and people don't realize that because people are saying, oh, the economy is doing bad right now, but eventually it's going to go back up. It's a season. I don't think it's a season, guys, to be honest with you guys. I think it's really going to keep going down. And honestly, a lot of the things I was thinking was kind of confirmed by this prophecy. And I myself, I don't have the strongest opinions, guys, about, the prophetic teaching. Is it biblical? Is it not biblical? I personally don't have the strongest stance on that. I know other people are sensationalists and some people are very pro prophecy, like Pentecostals. But I personally, I've seen bad and I've seen good. I've heard people prophesy things over me and I've seen it come to pass, but I've also seen a lot of people prophesy and they just talk to talk out of their back end and nothing ends up happening. For example, I know people very close to me, their lives were ruined because they believed in prophecies from prophetess leaders or fake pastors who would do false prophecies. And so you do have to be careful with prophecy, but at the same time, I do believe it's a biblical concept that is still practiced today. And the reason why I believe that, and this was just confirmed so much more by this specific prophecy, this man literally explained to the detail what happened with Donald J. Trump and how the fact that he got shot in his ear so specifically, he goes into detail about everything that's going to go ahead and happen. And I just think that this is beyond us being able to say, oh, this is a coincidence or that quote unquote Trump staged it. Guys, Trump did not stage his own assassination, guys. Anyone who's telling you that, guys, is like far gone, far gone. And I don't want to make this a political video because it's not. It's more of a spiritual warfare. And that's what you guys have to understand. It's like, would you guys want Trump, someone who's actually trying to help our country, or you guys want Biden, someone who's literally not trying to help our country at all, who's sending hundreds and billions and trillions of dollars overseas? He's literally worsening the financial economy and stability of Americans. That's not of God. God doesn't want to go ahead and weaken our financial prosperity. I don't believe that's biblical, guys. So the fact that Joe Biden is doing that for his own financial gain and because he's a puppet doesn't mean that that's what we're supposed to do, guys. And so Trump was actually trying to stop that stuff. But one thing I do fear, to be honest, guys, and I don't mean like in a weird, really fear thing, but it's more of like in the saying, like, I do believe that like what's really going to happen is that when Trump comes to office, is that it might be too late, guys. It might be too late. The way our economy is, the way our current life is in America, it might be too late to make America great again. And this is just the unfortunate reality. And more people in the ministry, and I know people are afraid of being political, but the thing is, you have to realize is this isn't a political thing, guys, because everything happens in the spiritual realm before it manifests in the physical. So we have to get political, if that's what you want to call it. We have to get spiritual. We have to talk about current events. We can't just say, oh, Jesus loves you, go grab a donut, go get some coffee, go sin, and come back here on Sunday. No, guys, that's not going to cut it. These Muslims are working full time for their people. These atheists are working full time for their people. These Satanists are working full time for their people. All of these people that are satanic and diabolic are working full time. Why are we just okay with allowing our congregation to come on Sunday, letting them sin, grab a donut and coffee? Oh, God forgives you. He has grace, and just preach the same message every week. We have to actually talk about current events that are happening. And that's why actually big reason why I created this channel, guys, is because I want to interconnect everything with Christ, but we also need to talk about the things that are happening in this world, the geopolitical things, the religious things that are happening in this world, also ancient histories that actually prove evidence that Jesus Christ exists. Because a lot of people don't know this stuff, guys. It's really crazy and astounding to me that people don't talk about this. But I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen because you guys need to watch this evidence that I was looking at, and it's really, really, really crazy. And the devil doesn't want me to show you guys, but look, I'm gonna go ahead and play it for you guys to watch.
Bringing back America, because the Lord told me, he said, I am not done with America. Amen. He said there's going to be a new wave of patriotism coming out, and that's whenever I saw Trump, and I saw a red wave coming out of Michigan. And then I saw Oklahoma, and there was embers of people, and they were all on they had torches all throughout Oklahoma, and they were raising up these torches that looked like fire, and they were bringing forth a new patriotism upon the nation, and it was being birthed, and it just kept spreading like fire all throughout America, all throughout. And I saw Trump rising up, and then I proceeding when I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then there will be a great economy crash. Yeah. I saw they had a great economy plan, a crash. Yeah. Worse than the Great Depression. And the Lord warned me about this. It would be a great dark time. But I saw paddles coming upon America's soil like a shocking of the soil. And I saw Donald Trump praying in the office of the Oval Office. And he was weeping before the Lord with his hands on his head like this, but he was weeping. And there was ministers and people. I don't know if they were senators or Congress people or whatever. I just saw them pacing and back and forth inside of the White House. And sorry, what is the White House? But it's the Oval Office. Yeah. And they were interceding all inside there, and I could feel the presence of the Lord so strong.
Wow, guys, that is really wild, guys, because this so far what he has prophesied about Donald J. Trump and the assassination attempt has come true so far. And it just lets you know how real God is, how merciful, how loving, how just he is. Because literally he got shot in the ear. Do you guys understand how much of a miracle that is? He got shot in the ear because he turned his head in 0.3 seconds. They literally researched the weather. They researched the bullet, the size of the bullet, and the way Trump turned his head in the video. If he would have waited just 0.3 seconds longer in that position, it would have went through his skull. If the wind was a little weaker that day, it would have went right directly through his skull. But because of the speed of that wind that day being very strong, and the fact that he turned his head in just 0.3 seconds, it was a difference of it hitting his brain to it hitting his ear, and God allowing him to get grazed and graced at the same time. Wow. That's crazy, guys. And I mean, if you guys at this point don't think that, God spared his life, then I don't know what to tell you. Your hair color, honestly, is probably one of these colors. It's probably blue, red, pink, purple. I mean, that's just the reality, guys. I'm trying to be nice, but the reality is people have to accept reality. And the reality is that God did spare his life, whether you like Trump or not. I mean, I really like this post that PGA posted, like hair color of the people who think Trump's shooting was staged. Like, guys, it's not staged. I'll be the first to tell you guys that it's not staged. You don't have to be a Christian to know that, guys. The shooting was not staged. I don't think anybody would willfully, put an assassination attempt on their life. Like, that's actually wild, guys, that people think that. Like, people in this world are so far gone. What about John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, all these good presidents in the past? where there was their assassination staged, or is there a satanic agenda to get rid of these presidents that God is using to actually do good in the world? Because from my knowledge, and I'm not the most political person, growing up, I've heard Abraham Lincoln was a big reason why slavery is gone in America. John F. Kennedy wanted to expose these secret satanic societies that we know about today. Trump is actually trying to stop these satanic societies. He's trying to better our economy and help us to be self-reliant and for us to actually be a Christian nation or have Christian values. So why is it that they're all getting assassinated? Is it because they're all staging their assassination attempts? Or maybe could it be that because Satan actually has an agenda to actually assassinate them because they're doing good for our nation? Think about Jesus Christ. It was prophesied in Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6. It says the government will be upon his shoulders. And what happened in Matthew chapter 1? Jesus Christ, he literally had King Herod upon his shoulders. And King Herod literally tried to go ahead and murder Jesus Christ as the Messiah. But what happened is that God protected Jesus Christ in the flesh. And so this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. I mean, we got to wake up on this stuff. And for those that don't believe me, look at this. It blows my mind how Trump nearly escaped death. Watch this replay. He turned his head zero point 0.3 seconds before impact. Guys, if he would have literally stayed in that same position, 0.3 seconds, 0.3 seconds is the only difference between his life and death. Guys, you can't tell me that wasn't God. You can't tell me that wasn't God. That's literally God. And then look, it gets even crazier. There was a 7-mile-per-hour crosswind at Trump's rally yesterday, enough to push a 5.56 round 2 inches to the left to a people saying that this is like a psyop, that he staged this. I don't know anybody in their sane mind who would sanely, create their own assassination attempt. Like, that's wild to me, guys. And then to make it worse, whenever you look at the corrupt daddy government workers, which when I say that, I'm referring to the CIA, I'm referring to the FBI, I'm referring to different organizations within the government. They knew that, Trump, because you have to understand, Trump isn't just a regular person. He was a former president. He's running for office again. So the amount of security he has, especially in America, is extremely crazy. They knew the shooter before he even shot Trump. And then there was a guy who was a U.S. Navy SEAL, which if you guys don't know what that is, basically the U.S. Navy SEAL are like the top 1% of the top 1% of the top 1%. Like there's only like, I think 100 Navy SEALs in the whole states, and there's like millions of military officers. So that just lets you know, like, this was a very top guy. That's why he was there to protect Donald J. Trump. And he was a sniper, right? And then he asked his boss, because he has to ask his boss beforehand, before he can take the shot on the person. He said, boss, I see someone literally trying to kill the president and they have a gun in their hand. Can I take the shot? And his boss ordered him and said, no, don't take the shot. And the CIA agents were also there during the rally, and they didn't do anything. They saw him and they allowed him to take 8 shots first before they actually did something. That shows how corrupt they were, because right now Joe Biden's in office, so they're all currently working for Joe Biden. This shows a clear attempt to take away Trump's life, and the fact that Joe Biden actually wanted his life to be taken away. Isn't that wild, guys? And they try shooting him in the head to have his brains blast everywhere, just like John F. Kennedy. This is so sad, guys. This is sad. Because the same thing that they were trying to do with Trump, they did with John F. Kennedy. This is not staged, guys. You guys need to wake up. And the reality is, guys, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you guys have 2 options, Trump or Biden this year, Trump all the way, Trump 2024, because honestly, it's just common sense at this point. I know Trump isn't perfect, and I've seen actually a post about this somewhere earlier before, but you know what it is in reality, guys? Because when it comes to Trump, right? I know he's not like this most ideal born again Christian, but you have to remember, God doesn't choose perfect men. He chooses men perfect for the job, and that's the reality of it. And so Trump might not be the perfect man, but none of us are. We all have fallen short of the glory of God. And I don't think that Trump has been a Christian all this time, to be honest. That's my opinion on it. But can this actually be used as a situation to bring him closer to Christ? Absolutely. I've even seen people in the comments of Twitter literally give their lives to Jesus Christ because they're like, whoa, this is too miraculous the way this happened. So I think absolutely God will begin to start using Trump in that way as well, too, from a biblical perspective. I'm not claiming to be a prophetic person or a prophecy individual or a prophet. But what I can say is from what we've seen so far, his prophecy has been fulfilled. And honestly, with everything going on in this world, it seems like it will continue to be fulfilled. So I just urge you guys to continue reading in your word, ask God for wisdom. And honestly, guys, I mean, I don't know how you can be a Christian in 2024 and support Biden over Trump, guys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. I just want to be real with you guys. Thank you guys so much for liking, sharing with someone that you guys believe this could be edifying for. And I love to hear your opinions below. God bless you guys.